Hello there, and welcome to yet another episode of Regular Beer Reviews, where regular doesn't refer to the beers being reviewed, but to the reviewer myself. I'm Jesse, and I'm about to review a beer that I've never had before. This is only the second beer I've ever had and reviewed from Founders. This is Dirty Bastard. Now, I did review their breakfast stout, and I thought it was fucking awesome. So I have high hopes for this beer. It has high numbers, as we're about to get into, so I have very high hopes for this beer. So let's get into those numbers. Beer Advocate gives it a 91, which is outstanding, and that's with 5,571 ratings. The Bros have not had this beer, but Rate Beer gave it a 98 overall with a 98 for the style. It has an ABV of 8.5%, so it's a relatively big beer. You want to be careful if you're trying to session this beer, because you will get hammered very quickly. The availability is year-round. The style is a Scotch ale or a wee heavy ale, and it has 50 IBUs. And if you didn't know, Founders, that's the Founders Brewing Company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here's a quick description from Rate Beer. It says, Founders flagship beer. Dirty Bastard is an absolute beautiful beer to behold. Dark ruby in color and brewed with 10 varieties of imported malts, this beer continuously lives up to its reputation as a bold and powerful ale. Dirty Bastard is complex in the finish, with hints of smoke and peat paired with malty richness, finalized with a good bit of hop attitude. This beer ain't for the wee lads. So, again, the only other beer I've ever had from Founders, and I did a review on it, was their breakfast stout. I thought it was so fucking good. And given the high numbers this beer has, I'm super excited to try it. So, good bit of smoke when I open that one up. Let's go ahead and get this baby poured. It's a Scotch ale, which I like Scotch ales because I'm a big fan of Scotch. Now, I'm not sure if this is a lot of Scotch ales I've had, or they're aged in Scotch barrels. And I like Scotch, but I'm not sure if this one is or not, or if it's just like a Scottish style ale. I'm not sure. They didn't mention it in the review, and probably could have looked it up, but I'm a lazy person. So anyway, let's go on ahead and get an appearance on this. It is dark, man. Not quite opaque. I can see my fingers through it. Not a lot of definition, just shadow, but it's very dark. It's dark copper color, red, very, red tinges through, but like I said, I can see through it. It's not black by any means. It's dark kind of around the edges, but then I can see through the middle of it. Nice copper red color. It has a tan colored head, nice dark beige. It looks very creamy. It looks like there's very light to moderate carbonation streaming up, so it's not too bad. Let's go on ahead and get a nose on this. Malty. I smell dark malt. I smell caramel and toffee and a little bit of coffee, and I smell... It's almost like really roasty, kind of burnt notes to it. Not really picking up a lot of hops, but smells mellow, smells slightly sweet. I'm smelling a little bit of dark fruit like raisins or prunes. It smells really, really good, so let's go on ahead and jump into this. Oh wow, okay. The flavor, those dark malts, man, they overpower. In a good way. It's not unbalanced by any means. It's a very balanced beer. Slightly burnt, very roasty, kind of smoky. I'm definitely picking up caramel malt and a little bit of coffee, maybe a hint of chocolate. It's darker, it's roastier, it's robust. It's sweet. I'm definitely picking up those dark fruits. Again, the raisins, prunes, figs. Dark, very thick mouthfeel. I mean, this really coats my mouth really well. This is a pretty damn good beer. This is a very enjoyable beer. Now, I mentioned earlier I've had Scotch ales and they're brewed in Scotch barrels, and it gives me. This isn't one of those. This I'm not really getting any flavors of Scotch. I'm guessing it's a Scottish style ale, but this is pretty damn good. Very robust, very full flavor. It does almost have kind of like that woody oakiness that you taste in a lot of liquor like Scotch, but I'm not sure how long this is aged for. I don't think it's like a really aged beer at all, but it's certainly tasty, very robust. The flavors are really mellow. They kind of they meld well together. It almost has an appearance. You can see it almost looks like Coca-Cola or something. But it's a very, very tasty beer. I'm enjoying this beer very, very much. I would say if you see this beer, pick this shit up in a heartbeat, man. Founders, again, this is only the second beer I've ever had from them, but this is the second time they've really, really, really impressed me. This is a really, really good beer. I like it. It's so full of flavor. I mean, I can't even describe almost. I mean, so full of flavor. Dark and really robust, and it almost reminds me of a porter. This almost reminds me of like a porter style ale. But it's really, really good. Robust, again, slightly smoky, very kind of woody in flavor, like oak and just kind of robust. Really, really flavorful. You get the sweetness from the malts, dark caramel and light coffee, and again a little bit of chocolate. Like I'm almost picking up like the darkest, bitterest chocolate. But yeah, not really any hops at all. I'm not picking up any hops on this. So it's very malty beer. Very tasty beer. I'm really enjoying this. I did a couple of reviews earlier, so I'm just going to sip on this. I'm not going to finish it in the review. But this is enjoyable. I really love this beer. I mean, I really like this beer. I'm going to give Dirty Bastard Scotch Ale 9 out of 10. This is a really, really tasty beer. I really like it. Definitely recommend you pick it up. If you see this beer, pick it up, man. It's super good. Very tasty beer. Very dark. Very robust. Good after dinner beer. Not super high in alcohol content. It's 8.5%. So it is a big beer, but it's not. It's. I wouldn't say it's sessionable by any means. This isn't something. If you're going to be at a party all night and you want to socialize, you don't need to be drinking these all night. But this is like a good beer, like after dinner. Maybe a dessert beer, but it's not quite sweet enough to pair with dessert. I would think like this is a good after dinner, like after you've had dessert. You're relaxing, you're smoking a cigarette, or you're smoking your cigar or whatever. This is a good beer to pair with that. It's very, very, it's mellow, but it's robust, and it's kind of smoky in flavor, and it's very, very tasty. It's a very good beer, so I definitely recommend this. Once again, I would say Founders Dirty Bastard. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's an A from me. This is a great beer, very, very good. Pick it up if you see it. So thank you for watching, and keep watching again in the future for more reviews. Prost.